this sort of business plan right now. They want to grow it, they want to process it, they want to sell it, they want to turn it into nutritional products, they want to have every corner of the market at least a piece of that market. So if marijuana ends up being $1 a gram, that they're going to make good money at the back end of that. Roll-up plays are going to be important. Deb for few and precious metals, also fish and uranium, has a plan that he's going to, if everything goes his way, buy 80 dispensaries out of 800 that are currently doing business in the US. What he wants to do is to formalize a plan so when you walk in the door, you know what it's going to look like, you know what you're going to buy, you know what you're going to buy it for, you know what it's going to do for you, you're going to know the brand and go back to it on a regular basis. This is a longer term play. It might not spike share price tomorrow, but it is an actual business plan. And the fact that it involves medical marijuana is neither here nor there. It's a product that they're going to sell in the right way. Retail plays. I've just been out to site talking to the guys at Naturally Splendid, who have a product that is hemp-based, not marijuana-based, that's going into nutritional bars that are planning to go out to the Walmarts of the world and the Costco's of the world. Again, a longer-term business play, but an actual business with people who have actually been in business. The big thing to be cautious of is if you're dealing in a company that was a mining company 3 months ago and turned to medical marijuana because it couldn't raise money, think to yourself, why couldn't it raise money? Why does it need to change business entirely? Weed support industry is going to be important. NextGen has certainly sorted something out in that respect by putting up this conference. They've also got a lab that they're planning to create so that they can get a little piece of every weed deal instead of just the back end or the front end. Knowledge is going to be experienced. Bedrocan is not yet public, but will be soon. And they supply medical marijuana to Europe exclusively. They are the exclusive European medical marijuana supplier. So if you're looking at buying a stock of something that's maybe got 20,000 square feet of grow-up, and you're going to compare them to a company that supplies all of Europe, I think that the company that supplies all of Europe might have figured out its supply chain issues. And lastly, branding plays are going to be important. The sponsor of this event, Anexco's BC Chronic, is the first step on that front. Their plan is to say basically everyone knows BC weed is great, so let's put a symbol on it and make sure that anyone who buys it knows that it's come from a good place. I can't speak to whether they're going to do a great job of that. It's entirely a marketing plan. It's going to take a lot of money. But at least it's a business plan as opposed to wearing weed too. So for me, the first step in legitimacy is to stop looking at these as medical marijuana stocks. This isn't a pot industry. The pot industry gets 19-year-olds excited. It gets people who listen to Grateful Dead excited, but it's not an industry. We've got to stop putting weed logos on everything. Sorry, Nick's dead. It's time to start looking at this like coffee. Start looking at it like McDonald's. Start looking at it like gold. These are all agricultural plays. They're tech plays. They're health plays. They're biotech plays. They're not grow-ops. The sooner we get away from the grow-up mindset, the quicker people will be able to get things into actual business. There's no pizza chain out there that considers itself to be a part of the dairy industry, even though it sells buckets of cheese every day. And just because there's marijuana in a product, the marketing ploy shouldn't be that we're part of a legal drug wars. The last thing to really think about is licenses. Every WeedCo here, every WeedCo that's not here, thinks it's going to get a license. They all say that all they're going to do is just fill in the forms and make sure the inspection goes right, and we're going to get an MMPR. They may be right, but if they are right, then there's 600 companies that are going to be growing marijuana by this time next year. And if that's not an oversupply, I don't know what is. If they're wrong, then half the companies who think they're going to get an MMPR are going to be dead companies when they get refused. So of the 12 companies that are licensed so far, and it's interesting to see that only 12 companies have been licensed out of 600 applications, and that number hasn't changed in months. Only one of those companies is public and one is coming public. So for me, those licenses are going to be where the money's at. If you don't get a license, if you do get a license, do you even get zoning permission to use it? I don't know how many people are familiar with Abbotsford and their take on drugs, but if you're setting up a grow-up in Abbotsford and think that Abbotsford City Council is going to put the thumbs up on that, that may be a long way. So what makes more sense than any of this? Does it make more sense to use a license to grow weed and then try and sell it, or does it make sense to say, I got a license, this is going to be worth millions, who's going to be the highest bidder? This is a transformational industry, and the form guide for it changes every day. I've written this speech 9 times in the last 2 weeks, and I've had to keep rewriting it because it changes constantly. talking to some people out there, I think now I should rewrite this thing all over again. If you're looking for a long bet, you do what you do with any other industry: gold, coal, tin, paper. You look for the fundamentals. Is the management experience? Do they have a track record of turning investments into big dollars? Are they just me-tooing it, or do they have a clear plan to build a business that is different from every other business on the floor out there? And is your stock moving up because it's being day traded, or is it moving up because there's actually a long-term business plan in place? There's a lot of day trading going on, less than there was 2 weeks ago. But once these licenses start rolling out, if you think you've seen a spike so far, it's going to be a much larger one. So, in summary, we're barely getting started in this industry. If you ask me about this stuff in 3 months' time, it'll be a completely different speech. But you can read my updates daily at stockhouse.com. And if you're a weed company needing to get the word out on your unique opportunity, we're standing out there at the Stockhouse booth and getting stories out is what we do. I would advise coming and saying hi, or even if you're thinking about it, if you're a private company that's looking to maybe one day go public. Marcus is here, and I'm here, and all of our guys are here, and we'll do what we can to help you out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Next, I'd like to introduce Farhan Lalani from Market One Media.
Thank you. My name is Farhan Lalani. I'm the CEO of Market One Media Group. And I've been asked today to discuss how some of the companies in this room can get some additional eyeballs on their story. So, who is Market One Media Group? Market One provides media and marketing solutions for public and private companies throughout all market sectors. Our marketing programs include editorial coverage, television coverage, email distribution, SEO, social media, and several other aspects. Market One has partnerships and relationships with the world's most trusted and established media outlets. Our premier partnership is with Post Media. Post Media owns the Financial Post, the National Post, the Vancouver Sun, Ottawa Citizen, Calgary Herald, and several other newspaper publications. We also work with the Globe and Mail in Canada. And our relationships with these groups allow us to provide business content across all of their platforms, including print, online, and mobile. And that really sets us apart from some of our competitors here. In the U.S., we also work with such groups as Barron's and the Wall Street Journal, and internationally with China Daily and Hindustan Times. China Daily has 20 million readers per day. So you're attracting a very big audience when you're working with a group like that. As I mentioned, in addition to print editorial coverage, our unique relationship with Post Media allows us to run a content module on the Financial Post investing page. Now that page gets traffic 30,000 to 50,000 times per day. That means that your story could potentially be read by that audience every single day. Now obviously, in addition to doing print and online and mobile coverage, we take advantage of the newswire distribution services, NASDAQ, OMX, MarketWire, CNW, to really push the story out beyond Canada and across the world. One thing that we do that's a little bit different is we do what's called a media distribution. Now what that does is we have a database of about 2 million media contacts, which we then target and push your story to. What that does is it initiates activity for other media outlets to continue further media coverage. Email marketing is an important part of our distribution. I always tell CEOs that sending out 5,000 emails to current shareholders is just not enough. Market One Media has an email database of 280,000 double opt-in investors that are actively looking for new investment opportunities. Something that we've started working on very recently is our relationship with BNN. Now, what we do with BNN is we offer two different programs. One is sort of the regular commercial that you've seen a bunch of times on the channel. But what we're doing that's a little different is called the Market 1 Minute. And that is a 1-minute segment that is an interview-style format with the CEO and an anchor that discusses, the company's milestones and other activity that is interesting to brokers and other investors watching the program. Market 1 also works with some of the premier newsletter writers in the different sectors, which guarantees your company established investor audiences and increased distribution. Now, what makes Market 1 Media different? I myself was a broker in my past life, and so I currently now run an exempt market dealer called Navigator Capital Partners, which means that we have the ability to finance public and private companies. In addition, we also run the Market 1 Venture Fund, which is a portfolio of our top clients. So we really do get in bed with our clients and align our interests. So one of the problems that I was sort of noticing in the marijuana industry is that there's so many new entrants into the sector. Currently, there are 600 applications with Health Canada to accredit would-be medical marijuana producers from all across Canada. In a multi-billion-dollar industry with hundreds of new entrants, it will become increasingly difficult to stand out from the crowd. The marijuana industry, still in its infancy, is competing with every other established sector for investment dollars. We believe Market 1 can be part of the solution by creating a unique package that matches the company's needs, which brings us back to the company's mantra. Credibility. We tell your story on the most trusted news platforms. Control. Determine your message and manage the timing of your marketing. And creativity. Delivery in a unique and compelling format using trusted and proven platforms simultaneously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Farhan. Next, I'll be introducing Bob Beattie from Financial Press and Vantage Wire.
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Beattie. I'm managing editor of Financial Press and Vantage Wire, and I'm sure it's a very erudite crowd, albeit a small one. Since I only have a few minutes to talk, I'd appreciate it if you tell all your friends how clever and urbane I am, because I just don't have time to make the jokes. I'd also like to thank Harry Barr because, speak of the devil. How long did it take you to put this together?
We announced it on the 20th day of March. So we're less than 6 weeks.
I have laundry over than that, so. Anyway, I'm with Financial Press and Vantage Wire, and I will attempt to coordinate all of this. We, like the previous speaker, are in the business of disseminating news for companies of all descriptions. Lately, we've done a number of work with medical marijuana companies, but it's a little more basic than that. The broad exposure of an idea, broad exposure of an idea or business for a company is much like being independently wealthy. It gives you options. For companies, these options are to attract the best people or partners, expand or move into new business areas, raise money, or gain more shareholders, which I'm sure you're all probably interested in, or indeed all of the above. And in essence, every company needs to grow their business and deliver consistent shareholder value. And how do you do that? Well, basically you do that by getting as many people as possible to follow, read, and act upon your news. And the action could just be simply putting that action could be just putting a stock on a watch list, reading the material, or indeed becoming a shareholder or adding to a position. And as a writer, I tend to be prone to analogies. So I think if there are two divisions, I'll just back up for a second. Vantage Wire and Financial Press. Vantage Wire is like your base camp, where you send out to our database, and I'll explain how the database works in a second, sort of your special ops people with messages for dedicated investors. Excuse me. Vantage Wire is one of the only providers in North America that gives free real-time stock quotes